Buddhism for Beginners, the practical guide to the Buddhist teachings to help you live a life full of happiness and peace without stress or anxiety, including mindfulness, Zen, and Tibetan teachings. Written by Alexandra Jessen. Narrated by Ric Chetter. Introduction. Buddhism is gaining a lot of popularity in the West, perhaps more than ever before in human history, and with good reason. Although it is most predominant in Asia, Buddhism has been widely embraced in the United States of America. It can, in fact, be traced back several generations to the first Chinese and Japanese immigrants in the mid-1800s. Influencers such as D.T. Suzuki and the poets of the Beat generation helped to popularize it. However, even though Buddhism has been practiced in the West since the early 19th century, for most people it's still very confusing and foreign. What makes the understanding of Buddhism tough is the frequent misrepresentation of this religion in magazines, books, social media, and popular culture. Learning about Buddhism can feel extremely difficult if you don't have a lot of solid and ethical foundation to go by. As if that's not bad enough, going to a Buddhist temple or Dharma center may not actually be the best solution. Depending on where you go, you might end up receiving a version of Buddhism that's only applicable to that school. If you're just starting out, this isn't a good thing because first, you need to educate yourself on the full spectrum of the religion before making an informed decision on which aspect resonates most with you. So let's start here. Buddhism, unlike any other religion, is hugely diverse, arguably more so than Christianity. And even though all of Buddhism shares a core of fundamental teaching, it's very possible that much of what you might be taught by one teacher could be directly contradicted by another. Then there's the other big problem of the scripture. While most of the great religions of the world have one canon of scripture that everyone accepts as authoritative, this does not apply in Buddhism. There are 3 separate scriptural canons, one for Theravada Buddhism, one for Mahayana Buddhism, and one for Tibetan Buddhism. These further divide and subdivide into various sects within those 3 traditions, often diversifying even further their own ideas about which scriptures are worth studying and which are not. So having a goal to learn more about Buddhism and converting into this way of life is very good and noble, but you must, as with all things in today's world, educate yourself before making an informed decision on which form of Buddhism you will practice. As the world continues to be seized by all kinds of crisis and more people fall into depression, anxiety, loneliness, trauma, and other stifling conditions, smart individuals are seeking solutions beyond conventional medicine. Many people are choosing to turn to Buddhism and its practices as a guide to the path of peace, enlightenment, and happiness. Although one can find several articles online and books that talk about Buddhism, most of these resources don't seem to be concise or practical enough when it comes to teaching what people really want to know. Too many questions go unanswered. Many of the things spoken of aren't useful enough for someone living in Brooklyn, Connecticut, or Long Beach. Worse still, some of the vernacular used can be very tough to decipher. If you are among those smart individuals looking to make Buddhism a way of life, but you're struggling to find a simple guide to help you get started, well, you're in luck. This is precisely where you need to be, and this book will help pave the way for your new lifestyle. Buddhism for Beginners contains all the answers you need to become a modern-day Buddhist, regardless of your location, vocation, ethnicity, and background. Buddhism for Beginners is a must-read for anyone getting started on this quest of finding peace and happiness because it seeks to take you through the basic and core practices of Buddhism in a way that beginners like you would easily comprehend. By the time you're done with this book, you'll be more in tune with the possibility of infinite happiness that is now available to you. Where other publications fail to teach you how to tune in to that new reality, this book will strive to deliver on that promise. You'll learn everything you need to know, from the key concepts of Buddhism to modern Buddhist practice of mindfulness, Zen, and meditation practices. In Buddhism for Beginners, we travel this uncharted path together and go in-depth into the Buddha teachings, Buddha nature, and the goal of living a Buddha life. You're also going to learn about core Buddha practices of karma, suffering, nirvana, and reincarnation. Most importantly,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?